Hey, Ifan, are you up there?
Who's there?
It's me. There's a big engraver sign over your head. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
What do you think about being here in Tennessee?
The weather is fantastic. The wood is fantastic. The engraving part is terrible.
The engraving part is terrible. Why would you say that?
Yeah, it's killing me.
Why? So many hours you've spent up here in this building the last few months. This little room.
In this room.
You got the best room in the house with the best view.
Yeah.
And all the cool toys are up here.
Yeah. Without the good view, I don't know if I can make it.
Well, it's nice when you're working on something beautiful to be able to look out and see something else that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like working up here. So, you brought some tools with you from China? Some tools I had the same. Tell us what you've been working with.
Engraving tools? You mean?
Yeah.
The engraving tools are pretty much the same with what you've been using in America.
And then what kind of engraving equipment do you have in China?
I have the Engraver Max G8.
That's yours you brought from China to work with.
Yeah, that's mine.
What kind of microscope do you have?
Leica.
Just like that.
Yeah. This is Scott's, but I have the same one in
Yeah.
China. And it's a pretty good equipment.
So tell us what you've been doing up here these last few months.
Well, I've been working on 2 guns. This is my first project. Can you get a close shot? Okay. So quick along for the second one.
And what have you got in your hand there?
This?
Yeah.
This is TPH from Author.
Yep.
That's gold inlay on top, at the bottom, and scroll works with a lizard, 2 lizards in it. One is a green anole, and the other side is a western fence. The western fence is staring at a grasshopper. The green anole is staring at a caterpillar, ready to hunt.
And what was your inspiration for this piece?
They just popped in my head.
They just popped in your head. That's good. A brilliant mind comes up with some great ideas. And you cut the background away very nicely and very deep on that.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours did you spend on that, you think?
You mean the whole gun or removing the background?
Oh, just the background for now.
Probably 1 week on the scroll.
Really?
Both sides.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
I've been working from dawn to dusk.
yeah, you've been a hard worker up here.
Yeah.
Many hours.
Glad I made it through.
What do you think about you've got to shoot both of those guns before you had them apart?
Mm.
And what's it like shooting your guns for the first time?
Powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah.
You've seen, I guess, a lot of movies in China with people shooting guns, but was that a new experience when you got to shoot them here? What?
Those were just bang sounds in the movies. But when you're really holding that gun and shooting in your hands, it's powerful.
Yeah. Okay. And what does it feel like when you take that same gun apart that was powerful and then you're creating it into a work of art?
I just do the engraving. I just did the engraving part. When I saw the finished gowns, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Looks stunning. With all the metal finish, the gray, the French gray, the blue, and the combination of gold tone, it looks really good.
Yeah. So you took something very powerful and made it powerful in an artistic way.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah.
And tell me about your background. How did you get started in this field?
That's a long story.
We've got all day.
When do I start with?
Well, you were born in a poor, small town in China, right?
Not really. In college, I studied a totally different major. Has nothing to do with everything with art. And one day, but from when I was a child, I was really interested in craftsmanship and fond of making different kinds of stuff. That makes me feel good, and I'm good at it. 1 year after my graduation, there's an idea suddenly came up to me. I want to make my mom a birthday present with silver. So I bought a chunk of metal, silver, and ingot, and using just a hammered it down, and it took me 2 months to make it long enough and bend it to make it a silver bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found out, wow, I could do that. Until that day, I found I really like working with metal. So I've been trying to study metalworking. And fortunately, I found a friend. He introduced me to the jewelry making business. So I started to making jewelries as a part-time job.
And how old were you when you first made this metal piece for your mother?
That's 2010.
2010, so really not that long ago.
Yeah.
And you're how old now?
My age?
Yeah.
I just turned 30.
Yeah. So basically you started at age 22 and decided you liked metal at that point.
Yeah. Before that, I've been working on wood, stones most of the time, carving stones.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Something small and simple as a hobby.
So anyway, you got into the jewelry field and then started making jewelry, and then how did you transfer into the engraving side?
The city where I'm from, the jewelry business, they're making pretty much the same stuff. I was thinking if I want to make an achievement in my life in this business, I need to do something different. Then I start searching on the internet, what special stuff out there on the internet. Then I find enamel. That's attracting.
Enameling.
Enameling.
Yeah.
Then I've spent a lot of time and effort buying enameling books, tutorial videos, enamels, and try to make those beautiful art pieces myself. I tried different methods. Then I found engraving, hand engraving. I've been trying to find all sorts of different techniques.
Yeah, there's a lot of different techniques in hand engraving.
Different techniques for jewelry making.
Sure, okay.
And after some months of trial and error, I find the engraving is the best one for me, and I have the potential for that.
And of course, there's a lot of unique engraving in China from historical times.
Yes.
So you're really following in your ancestors' footsteps somehow.
Yeah, you can see that.
And so when you got interested in it, what was the path that led you to coming to America?
English is my second language. All the information I get from the internet is English. And all those great master engravers, they're almost from America in the English language.
But I think the nexus to America first came from New Zealand, correct?
Yeah, I knew a great engraver from New Zealand.
You met him at a show. Was that in Hong Kong you met him? Or?
Yeah, in a Hong Kong jewelry show.
And tell me about that's Andrew Biggs from New Zealand. And tell me how you first met him and what happened.
With the show, I was wandering around in the show halls in Hong Kong. That's one of the biggest jewelry show in Asia. And Andrew Biggs, he's the engraver doing demonstration for GRS. I met him at the GRS booth. He's doing some demonstrations. And by that time, I was pretty interested in hand engraving, and I've been seeing those pictures, beautiful, nice works from the internet, but those are just limited with the pictures. I've never had a chance to see the real thing. So when I saw him doing the demonstrations under the microscope, I was pretty excited. And I was even more excited when he told me he's the one of the I was so excited. I've been showing him the pictures, beautiful engraving pictures on my cell phone, and he told me I did that, I did that, I did that. I was even more surprised when he said that. You can't imagine how happy I was back then. I feel like finally. And he showed me his demonstration plays. Those were fantastic, beautiful.
And do you know how Andrew got his start engraving?
I heard him say he started engraving from some other mentor. He had a chance to join some engraving convention, something like that, and he met someone.
Well, I know initially when he was a sign painter originally.
Yeah, I know.
So he had a lot of drafting and lettering skills. And then I know early on, this is probably 2006 or something like that, but he showed up on the Engravers Cafe asking lots of questions. And a lot of us gave him advice over the internet. And he really took it and excelled with it. So in some sense, he started with the internet just like you did.
Yeah.
And of course, he started coming to the Guild Show. And anyway, he came to the Guild Show and met all the American engravers. And I guess we should pick up your story. So you met Andrew, and what advice did he give you?
I knew there was a FIGA convention, annual convention in America. And I asked him, is it worth it to go there, to pay a visit there? He said, yeah, it's worth you saving it. It's worth it, even it costs you 1 year of saving the money. I asked him that question just 10 days prior to the show that year, He said, yes, you should do that. Then I just bought a flight ticket.
Oh, really? It was only 10 days
Yeah.
advance notice that you had.
Yeah,
Wow. I didn't realize it was that quick.
yeah,
And so you came to America for your first time
yeah,
and walking around meeting all these American engravers.
yeah.
And what was your experience there?
It's pretty fascinating. I was a newbie back then. I don't have any experience except some crappy practice on copper plate. That's all I ever did back then. Then I saw those gorgeous, amazing engravings right in front of me. That's very different. And that's the time I decided I did the right choice. I did the right choice to came to America. I did the right choice to spend that much money. That's a lot of money for me.
Yeah, you've got a lot of money tied up in equipment.
Yeah, to invest on that, doing engraving.
And so that first year you got lots of inspiration, met lots of people that gave you advice.
Yeah,
Even met some crazy guy from Tennessee, I think.
yeah. I remember him.
Yeah. And so you went back home, and what did you do when you got back to China?
Continue make jewelries to make a living.
Yeah.
And those I did some engravings as practice. That's it. I mainly make my living from jewelry. Engraving is very rare in China, and I've been loving watches when I was since I was a little child. So the media for engraving, I chose watches most of the time, and did some creation from my own watches.
Tell me about that. That's the Tsu line.
Now I'm starting to make my own watch models designs. I have a sample with me. I have some other engraved watches before this model, but those were just practices.
Set it right there. Let's see. Anyway, tell us about that watch. What you did the dial. There's some beautiful birds and beautiful inlays.
Yeah, from the engraving perspective, I did the watch dial. Technically, I just do the watch dial, and this is the first watch I ever made with my brand on that, Tsu's. And it's like more like a prototype now. I have detailed plans with my next several models in the year 2018. And for now, I can't tell too many details. That's business secret.
Oh, okay.
All I can say is they're going to look better than this.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to seeing those.
About this style, actually, before I came here, I have very limited experience in engraving. This is the first watch dial that I did multiple color inlay.
Well, you did very well. It impressed a lot of people when you brought it to the show in Las Vegas in January of 2017.
Yeah, I'm glad I could do that.
It certainly impressed me.
That's one of the reasons I'm confident in my learning ability. Though I'm very limited in experience in engraving comparing to those wonderful masters I met in the show, but I'm pretty confident I can do. I'm getting better. I'm learning. I'm improving every day.
Yeah, well, you've certainly improving. You're doing some wonderful things.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I choose engraving. But in China, there's a saying: if you're doing something you really love as your career, you can make money from it. It's not an old saying. Maybe it's the same all over the world. I'm not sure. I'm trying to find the balance between my time devoted in a piece and I'm trying to find the balance between my hobby and money making.
It sounds like a lot of engravers' dilemma.
Yeah. So for that, I'm still learning. I need more experience. But if time and money is allowed it, I would love to make some really nice pieces, art pieces.
So you obviously had a lot of talent. I think you did some knives for William Henry, some seascapes that looked real nice. But then you decided to take your engraving journey a little farther and come to America and work on some big projects. Tell us about that.
You sure want to talk about that in your video?
Well, you don't have to discuss the masters if you don't want to do that right now. You can just say you wanted to come and try to learn about gun engraving.
I hope there will be another video when I achieve.
Oh, I'm gonna have the video camera running when the announcement is made. Hopefully there'll be no crying.
I hope. There isn't really something I can tell for now if to avoid that subject. Or what do you suggest from some other perspective?
Well, you could say that I wanted to learn that there's different aspects of the engraving art that's unique to guns, and I wanted to learn this, so I came to America here to... Yeah? Okay, lunch is ready. We have a saying in America, saved by the bell.
The year, and this is the winter.
Okay.
In lunar calendar of Chinese, there are different names for different period of winter.
Yeah. Okay.
So is there four quarters or 4 different times of the year, or how many characters are there for the year? For the seasons?
There are 24.
24?
24 names for different seasons.
Wow. And what is the name of the season that's on there?
九冬.
Zhoudong.
It's about October.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And what's this?
This is the Chinese saying way of saying colt. Small horse.
This is small horse?
Yeah. This is a single character there.
Okay. Oh, okay. And this is?
Something like mercy, kind.
Oh, okay.
I think it's has something to do with the peacemaker. The
Oh, okay. And you have your signature somewhere?
Yes, my name is there. There.
Oh, okay.
My Chinese name.
This right up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 characters.
When I saw this, I didn't see that initially.
How many hours do you think you have in this gun, Ifan?
I have no idea. I've spent a lot of time refining, changing the designs. I can't really tell how much time I put in there.
And what led you to develop the scroll like you did?
That's Mackenzie style.
Yeah? And do you admire Mackenzie's work a lot?
Yeah, when I just came here, I almost have no experience and zero knowledge about scroll works. Of course, I know there's American scrolls and black leaf style scroll, English scrolls. That's all I know. And Scott provided me a lot of different scroll designs. And I find other than the black leaf style, the Mackenzie is my favorite in there. That's why I choose this style on that gun.
Is this yours, or is that a mixture of what's old and new?
It's the same pattern, the same scroll out of the gun.
Yeah, I know. The grips are a little bit. Did you recut these some?
Oh, yeah.
You recut that?
Well, that turned out very nice also. Did you do the grips, or did he? Okay.
No, he's the metal man. I'm just the
You just,
shop flunky that does everything else.
well, you did very good on the grips. Of course, I figure that was your intent. Okay. Now let me see this other one. And the lizard?
That's a fence lizard. The other side's in a knoll. It's two of my favorite things, or two of my favorite animals. As you well know, I'm sure. How many thousand fence lizards did I catch as a kid?
More than 1 or 2 dozen. Very nice.
Thank you.
What kind of special bluing is he using? Do you know? That's the blackest blue I've seen.
He had a bucket of salts with a Brownells label on it there.
Okay, well that's what it is. It's Brownells. I mean, it looks a lot like Brownings. You remember how they got so much darker stuff? And how did you keep the gray out? Put copper on people.
How did you keep the gray out of Fawn?
That's the French gray process. We blew the whole cylinder, the slide, and cover up the parts we don't want to get them gray, and put some gray solution, some acid, and eat away the blue. It will turn gray like that.
Well, that's very nice.
Tell me, what are you doing here? Where?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, they're just about to hang us. We're going into National Park when the government's shut down.
Well, they give you a bath before they hang you, since you're in a bathtub full of bubble bath.
That's what they do, and then they hang you. They don't
And
want
you-
to hang dirty critters out here.
And you, sir, what's your crime?
I don't know. I don't remember anything.
Well, looks like you're over here with a wanton woman by the way she's dressed. What are you doing here, ma'am?
I'm not sure. I was just told to stay over here and do my thing.
So Roger.
Does that not mean I missed it?
No. There's one in the middle of the cloth.
Voting is now open for best engraved handgun. Voting is now open for best engraved handgun. Voting is open to all Eva table holders. Eva masters, whether they have a table or not.
On behalf of the members of the Firearms Engravers Guild of America, we would like to congratulate you on becoming the newest member.
This is voting for best engraved handgun.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Well done, Sue. Well done. You did well. You did really well. Congratulations.
Make sure you're
Well, next you give us $500 each. So tomorrow night, you're coming to the banquet. Okay, tomorrow night you'll be presented with just a tube certificate. Okay, to take home with you, and you'll get your fee master's pack with your master's stamp and a few other things.
temporary.
Temporary goods. And then when you get home in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, you get a proper certificate coming through in the mail.
Congratulations.
Last year was pretty awkward.
What happened last week?
I know. I received that certificate for seizure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know that.
So well done. Congratulations, Sue. Good on you, mate. You've done well.
I didn't think so. It was convenient. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ifan,
Yep.
you've achieved this goal of making master here in the United States, a master engraver with the Firearms Engravers Guild of America. How does this feel?
Feels awesome. Great.
Did you expect it to really happen when they were judging? What were your thoughts while they were looking at your work?
Let me put it this way. 5 months ago, when I just arrived to America and started working on those two guns, I would imagine that moment I was standing on the stage and receiving those certificates, and I thought I'm going to cry. But when I actually standing there getting those certificates, I thought there's a long road ahead of me. There's so much I need to do after that. It's a new start for me. For me, the master certificate is more like it's like the biggest encouragement for me right now so far. It gave me more strength to keep doing this engraving.
Well, what are your goals for the future? You're going back to China, and what's going to happen now?
I'll be going back to China and continue working on my jewelry as a jeweler. And engraving is still a hobby for me.
Well, you're obviously excelling very well in your hobby.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the show out here?
It's a great show, and I should be thanking everybody at the show. It's like a big family. Everybody is helping out, answering the questions. Without their helpings in the past 3 years, I'm not going to make it. And there's special thanks to Scott Pilkington. He provided me food and shelter, and all the necessary assistance during the 5 months. And
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure at times. We've had our difficult moments at times, but
difficult times, happy times.
yep, all of that. But most important thing, you achieved your goal.
Yeah,
Got a great looking couple of guns, and
yeah.
looking forward to seeing you next year.
Yeah, looking forward to see everybody next year.
But you're right. Here at FIGA, it is like a big family. Everyone's very helpful, and I've been coming out here 33 years since the first time, and it's like a family reunion, and it's a lot of information exchanged.
Yeah. I'm gonna go more shows all around the world. I'm not sure if I will ever find a place, a show like this here, the FIGA convention gathering.
I think it truly is a unique art form in that there's so much helpfulness. I mean, there's still egos, but for the most part, everybody checks it at the door and everybody helps each other. And I've been involved with a number of other different artistic endeavors and sports, and this is really a unique group of people, I think. Anyway, any final words?
Hope to see everyone last year.
All right, we hope to see you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a safe journey home.